Hello and welcome back to day 2 of our Cloudy to Clear brain fog workshop. So yesterday I presented a ton of information for you. And again, one of the things I love about getting the recording is you can go back and you can re-listen to it if you need to and pull out the information that is important to you. So feel free to go back into that day 1 workshop and pull out anything you need from it. And again, if you have any questions very specific to your situation, feel free to email me or let's set up a chat at the end of the 3 days and kind of go through your specific situation. All right, I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's jump right into day 2. So I'm going to go back to sharing that screen for you. I like to do this, especially for people that are visual and they need to take notes. They like to see it. I'm right there with you. So let me close. I don't like looking at myself when I'm on the screen there, so I need to get rid of myself. So here we go. What? We don't all that info. All right, here we go. Day 2. There we go. All right, it's going to work with me. So yesterday we talked a little bit about, what are the symptoms of brain fog, and how it's connected to menopause and some of the things we need to look for, treatment options. Again, most physicians will tell you that it will go away. One of the things you can do is obviously switch up your diet a little bit because food does affect your cognitive health. Prioritize sleep, reduce stress. But then we also talked about the dangers of menopause and the connection with Alzheimer's. And until they get more research, all we can do is go off of what they have right now. But it is important to note that those two are strongly connected, just to kind of keep an eye out on things. So the dangers of brain fog do obviously go beyond just remembering where you set your keys. And while brain fog can be super common as one of those many, there's over 42, one of those many menopause symptoms, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do things to decrease the effects it has on you or the quality of your everyday life. So we want to make sure that we're understanding and looking for particular things. So like we said, the dangers of brain fog do go beyond remembering where you've set your keys. And it can be a little scary at times. Maybe it's forgetting your kids' events. I know I've done that. Or losing your train of thought in that middle of a sentence. It's really terrible when it's in the middle of an important meeting or a presentation. Maybe it's forgetting to pay an electric bill and then your lights get shut off. Hello. Yep. Hand raised on that one as well. It could be, something silly like forgetting to pick up your dog at the groomers. Not being able to complete a task because you just can't get organized, or you have to stop and you have trouble starting back up again. So obviously brain fog can just be super easy things that we can fix. Like, let's say, you do forget your keys a lot. So now we've created a basket by the front door of where we're going to leave our keys so that we're not struggling with that. But if we're starting to notice that it's seeping into other areas of our life, it's important that we're taking notes, that we're looking at that. We're not just excusing it. We're not just pushing it off. We're not just, like TV likes to do. We're not just mocking the situation, but we're actually focusing on how can we make this situation better. Because the cognitive issues can develop slowly, it is obviously common for women to just not see that relationship between those little things that are happening and also the drop of estrogen as part of the menopause transition. And so most women don't necessarily put the two connections. Like they're like, oh yeah, I've been experiencing brain fog. And I'll say, are you in perimenopause? Well, no, I'm too young for that. And then we start to put things together, put those puzzle pieces together, and they start to realize, oh yeah, this is a little bit more than just forgetting where I'm setting my keys. 2 out of 3 women report cognitive trouble during the menopause transition. That's a lot, 2 out of 3. And that's why this is so important, because chronic brain fog really does affect your entire life. It'll affect your confidence. I know, I've had clients that they refuse to do presentations at work anymore because they're so nervous about how they're going to feel going into it. It can affect your ability to work at a higher level like before. It can affect your organization, your recall, and retention. It can be embarrassing. It can be frustrating. So some of the things we look at is how is this brain fog affecting you at work? For some women that I talk to, it results in problems with thinking, reasoning, remembering. All of that can definitely have a negative impact on your work productivity, especially if you are advanced in your career. You're already, or you could be possibly experiencing ageism. Plus, you've got this fear of a slight cognitive decline. And that's going to affect your confidence. That really could put you, in a downward spiral. 1 out of 4 women consider leaving their careers due to struggles with menopause symptoms. 1 out of 4 women. That's huge. And at a time in life when ageism can often already appear, just because you're getting a little bit older, going through this major hormonal change can really impact your mental health. So I tell people, start with small things. What are some ways that you can improve your cognitive function at work? Using a daily planner, obviously a calendar, or make sure that you're scheduling meetings in multiple places, putting reminders on your phone. Maybe that was never an issue for you. You had your one calendar and that worked, but now you're noticing that maybe you're missing meetings or you're missing deadlines. So putting some reminders on your phone might be one of a solution that works for you. Communication. As much as most people don't want to sit and tell their boss, hey, these are the things I'm struggling with, especially if it's a younger male, that's always, a little intimidating, could be a little embarrassing. But if you can communicate, even if you can communicate with somebody that you work with in that department and let them know, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you just kind of give me like a little heads up that this is coming? And in case I am forgetting it, I've got this backup. So communication is key. Figure out who is that person that's in your corner that you can turn to and let them know what's going on. And I always tell people, never underestimate the power of Post-it notes. I have Post-it notes everywhere, in my office, my bathroom, my kitchen. So those are some of the things that you can do at work to make things a little bit better. At home, if you're starting to notice that you're forgetting tasks or you're feeling overwhelmed, you are struggling with organization, you just feel like you cannot keep up with it all. It is a lot to run a house. And if you are the one that is in charge of scheduling the, appointments for your family members, if you're in charge of maybe an elderly parent or another adult, or maybe even a sibling, if you're in charge of all of the bills, if you're in charge of, organizing when people are coming, maybe you have, the groomers and you have the gardener and you have the pool guy or whatever it is a lot on your plate, especially if you also work, whether you work at home or outside the home. It's just a lot. And so really having that additional stress is going to affect your relationships at home. So some of the things I tell my clients is see what you can delegate. Is there somebody else that can be in charge of certain things in the house to make sure that everything is running smoothly? Focus on one task at a time. Where one of your strengths might have been multitasking before, this might be something that you kind of have to acknowledge you're no longer able to do. And so I encourage you to kind of just focus on one thing at a time, knock that out, and then move on to the next thing. Just like at work, using a calendar, a planner, having Post-it notes, reminders set on your phone can be ideal. And same thing at the work environment, communication is key. Being able to let your family members know what is going on and make sure that they're aware so that they can kind of help pick up the slack when it's needed. So let's talk about some of the things, tips on how to reduce brain fog. So yesterday we talked about treatment options. Like I said, you'll probably get, hey, it's common. Hey, it's no big deal. Get some more rest, reduce your stress. All of that is very true. But there's some other things that you can do to help increase your brain function, to help decrease that feeling of brain fog, that feeling of forgetfulness. So research does show that physical activity enhances cognitive health. This is why it's so important that we are constantly moving, whether it's scheduled fitness or just getting out and taking a leisurely walk. I always tell people, you got your scheduled fitness. This is where at 6 a.m. you're going to go to the gym or your group fitness, or you're going to meet your trainer, whatever it is. But also that intentional movement throughout the day. Hey, I'm going to take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, or during my lunch, I'm going to take a walk around the building, get a little bit of sunshine, whatever it is. I'm going to park further away so I get a little bit extra movement. So we want to make sure that we're doing that throughout the day. When we do that, it does enhance cognitive health through creating new brain cells. It does protect that gray matter. We talked about that yesterday. It reduces the risk of dementia. So these are some of the things that we want to make sure that we're focusing on. It can enhance your learning, sharpen your memory. And obviously we're probably familiar with fitness is going to help with depression. It's going to be a mood booster. So a couple different types of fitness. I tell people you do want to have that aerobic fitness. So this would be your cardio. This is not only good for your muscles and your heart, but cardio causes the brain to kind of go into an overdrive, and it releases that adrenaline into the blood. When the adrenaline and that energy are delivered to the brain, your memory is enhanced. So that cardio is actually boosting your memory. So a win for cardio there, especially for those of you that don't like cardio. For strength training gives you that release of endorphins. So when we have that release of endorphins, that's going to boost our mood. And in turn, it's going to kind of give us that clear head. It's just going to kind of push everything away. It's going to kind of enhance everything so we feel a little bit better. However, when I say that, one of the things that we have to be aware of, because then I get people that like go to the other extreme. Oh my gosh, if this is going to make, just 1% better, if I do it 10 times, it's going to make it 10% better. And so we need to be aware of overtraining, because overtraining can actually increase brain fog. So basically, too much of a good thing. We don't want to get there. We want to make sure that our body stays in that nice, even, sweet spot, basically, because your body can only take so much stress. When you overtrain, you're just putting too much stress on your body. Overtraining can lead to a decline in cognitive ability, especially relating to thinking, memory, reasoning. So you want to make sure that you are, just finding that right balance. One of the things that I tell people, especially, and this is going to be for more of my senior fitness, which is going to be, 60 and over. But even, in our 40s, 50s, early 60s, if you add cognitive games to your workout, so, having to name something as you're repeating reps. So just throwing in some fun games once in a while, some balance work. I'll have people do balance work and then they have to do math at the same time. And so, just to make it fun and crazy, a little bit of goofiness in there is okay, but it's also helping improve our brain health and complex moves. So anytime you're putting moves together that are a little bit more complex, that's going to enhance your brain health as well. A couple other things, obviously, sleep quality is huge. So your sleep is going to affect that, that fuzzy thinking. So we want to make sure that we're limiting stimulants that may affect your sleep. So caffeine, alcohol, spicy food, large meals before bed. I always tell people try to have some kind of bedtime routine, just like if you were a toddler, create that soothing bedtime routine and really focus. You can lay in bed for 8 hours. That doesn't necessarily that you're getting quality rest. So we want to make sure that we're focusing quality over quantity when it comes to sleep. Now that means don't give me, I had 3 hours of really good sleep. I mean, that's great, but we do want to make sure that we're hitting those numbers in there, but really focus on that quality. Stress reduction is another way to help combat brain fog. This is going to reduce feelings of anxiety. Anxiety can cause fuzzy thinking as well. So self-care is one of my favorite things to promote. That can be a creative hobby. A massage is a great form of self-care, but it also helps improve the circulation of your blood, fluids, oxygen from your head to your toes. This is going to help with brain health. Mindful meditation is another great self-care that also promotes brain function, and playing games. So if you're one that likes to play games to relax, maybe it's crossword puzzles or Sudoku, maybe it's chess to keep your brain sharp. Even I always say those adult coloring books are great too. So find something that is going to be, that self-care that promotes brain health and also reduces your stress. Other things, think about how much coffee you are drinking. Maybe reduce the amount of coffee and lean towards green tea. That could be another way to help with brain fog. I tell people to take breaks, take a movement break, even if it's just getting away from your desk for 30 seconds to walk around your house, especially if you're working from home. But if you're at an office, maybe walk over to a friend that's in the department, say hi, or just walk around the building a little bit. Just take that movement break. So really, today's tip is focusing on those simple lifestyle choices that you can incorporate to increase your brain function. So the main ones being movement, sleep, rest, self-care, really focusing on how can I incorporate more of that into my day so that I'm reducing that stress. All right, y'all. Day 2 is a little bit quicker. That is awesome. I cannot wait until day 3. We're going to get into a little bit of the connection between the gut health and the brain, because we have been talking and mentioning nutrition as one way to combat brain fog. And so we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. So again, if you have any questions, jot them down, email me, whatever it is. If you want to chat after the 3 days, you've got some questions pertaining to your specific situation, let's chat. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow for day 3. Have a good one, y'all.